Welcome to the Rad Dudecast. I'm Brendan Air, joined as always by Anthony DeVito and Greg Stone. We're just three comedians shooting the gush. And check it out. What's the gush, you ask? Well, stay tuned. You'll find out. Thanks for listening. Anthony?
Are you telling them about the... Oh, are we doing specific gush? Right? We're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. Greg didn't watch it. Brendan and I watched it. We're going to go through everything in grand detail.
Giddy up.
Court.
All right. You guys just heard a fantastic fucking intro, didn't you? Didn't you, you sons of bitches?
Usually we do like I'm Brendan A. You know what I mean?
No. That's at the end, fuckface.
We're doing that at the end.
I totally get what happened because just to give people a warning is I was like, well, do the intro in the end and we can record in the beginning, but we've always started with a crazy intro anyway.
Yeah.
But you need to start with a crazy intro to get the energy going. So I think they get two intros.
I've got no problems with them getting the fun intro and then the rundown intro. We've always done lately. We have been doing the intro in the beginning, where usually it's worked out where Brendan and I are sort of tackling it with this like this put together kind of intro, and we're having a lot of fun with that. So you want to take a shot at that, Greg? Usually we say like,
has there been an intro that I have not been here for? I don't understand.
Yeah, you've been here for all of them. We usually go.
Anthony just cut you right out of the team on that one. He said, "Brendan and I take it on." And
that's. I don't think I'm being mean. That's just it's worked out that way, where it's you or I that are usually putting together this slapshot intro.
I'd also like to argue. Look, people have been saying you got a tier for everything. No, there's a free intro tier. You get two intros. That's a free tier. No need for a Patreon to get two intros. That's just free. This free intro tier. You get two free intros.
The intro. This tier is only the intro. If you want to listen to our actual podcast, boy, you got to pay. But if you want the intro, that's free.
You get the intro, but then we do a double intro. You know what I mean? You get the standard intro and then the fun intro, and we're not charging extra for two intros. I think that's a nice thing that we do.
And all you got to do is sit through 7 ads in between, which I'm sure the network provides.
Now,
nobody knows for sure.
For those of you listening audio only, of course, it's Greg Stone, Anthony DeVito, and Brendan Air, the Rad Dudecast. Thank you for tuning in. But if you're audio only,
you got to tell these people what this podcast is about, Brendo.
You know, it's just three old dudes in their upper 100s. We're talking a 179-year-old man, a 184-year-old man, and a 162-year-old man fought in the War of Spain, the Great War of Spain, and we rehash that every week. Tell the same old war stories because we're ghosts and we're living down a curse.
Spanish War Podcast.
Yep. Dedicated.
If you Google it.
Yep.
The only one that comes up.
Well, as you know, it's okay. Being at our age, you're going to get a lot of coughing. You're going to get a lot of heavy breaths. Three soldiers in the Spanish War who stumbled upon the Holy Grail and drank it all for ourselves.
Yes.
So we've got everlasting life, and we're here to tell you about. And we take advice and we take questions from what people want to know about the olden times.
And the only question we refuse to take is, and we get it a lot, which Spanish war? Fuck you! Those people that keep asking that. We said the Spanish War.
Yeah. And can I say this? For us, that was a long time ago. So we barely remember.
I don't remember much about it.
Let me tell you something, you fucking young whippersnappers. If you're in the heat of battle with your friends' intestines and shit all over your face, well, guess what? That is the war for you. Okay, there's no other war.
Yeah.
Also, if it didn't have America in it, it ain't a war. I don't care how many wars Spain had. All right, not till they got involved with us, or we considering this thing a goddamn war.
Yeah, we didn't tell you whose side we fought on.
No.
We fought on, we were the little known U.S. presence in the Great Spanish War.
I can't tell you who was right. When the Spanish War, the Americans weren't in the Spanish War? Did I just make up
we were there.
There's literally no such thing as the Spanish War. That's what I was getting at in my joke.
I thought that was the Great Spanish War.
No, you're thinking of the Spanish flu. There was the
war to me, man.
I think there was the Spanish. There was the Spanish-English War, maybe, and Spain was very involved with Napoleon. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. Whatever was going on with England, France, and Spain were all tied up in that Napoleonic mess. So that was going on. Spain's been they were, of course, in World War II, probably World War I, but I don't know. There was the Spanish-American War.
Which is also offensive because most of them were Puerto Rican anyway. You know? It was the Hispanic American War.
And not only that, it was a fucking parade. Okay, enough with trying to say it was a war. Okay, it was just. But what I was trying to get at is, for those of you that listen to only the audio, what you're really missing out on is, yes, the three of us have names, but we also on StreamYard we put fun little nom de gars, aliases under our pictures. Today, Greg's going with the Notorious Gregorius. I think that rolls off the tongue very nicely. Anthony, I think
karaoke name.
In a bit of a ode to Tom Brady, or maybe shots fired at Tom Brady. The one true GOAT. GOAT all capitalized, meaning greatest of all time, or does it? Because then it says period, a man who's half GOAT. And then I, of course, am Ricky, spelled with 2 C's, no K, Ricky Slamcock.
Which should be argued that R-I-C-C-Y is Rissy. That is old Rissy Slamcock.
Rissy Slamcock, which is your real name, from what I understand.
Or if you're going Italian style, Christina Ricci, I'm going Ricci. With Ricci Slamcock, which brings you close to Richie.
True. Now, can I get back to one thing I'd like to say about the Spanish and their wars? I'll tell you this about the Spanish.
Can I set you up? This is Anthony's hot take on the Spanish.
Big thing with them, they love an inquisition. That's their bag. You know, and I think that's they've done that on purpose, so you know what I mean? Because how many wars have there been? Countless, right? But how many inquisitions have there been? You could name a handful.
Well, I would argue that every time someone inquires as an inquisition, the Spanish are known for asking questions.
They have a curious nature
and ask a little bit harder. But Spanish in general, they'll come over, they'll be like, "Where am I? What is this? Who are you?" And I'm always like, "Dude, you guys are so inquisitive."
I was
curious, like cats.
I was with Greg one time, and
cats are curious. That's a good observation.
The lady in front of us asked what the difference was between a vanilla bean cream frappuccino and the vanilla coffee frappuccino, and Greg just screamed at her and said, "What is this? The Great Astoria Starbucks Inquisition?" And then we tortured her. We tortured her for 6 hours.
I put her in a super hold.
Yep. So
their toes.
So I think we've nailed down what an inquisition is. It's a series of questions followed by lengthy torture. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's, in my opinion, it's any kind of questioning depending on how hard you ask, right? So me asking what you ate for dinner, that's an inquisition, but it's a light one, right? But then me asking you what you ate for dinner and holding you up by by your throat over off the edge of a building, that's also an inquisition,
right?
But manslaughter, fun slaughter, whatever,
right? Sure, yeah.
You know what I always have found fun slaughter?
The common phrase. Manslaughter, fun slaughter.
Yeah, manslaughter is by accident. Fun slaughter is for a gag, and that's why they hate it more. Because you can't have a good time if you're doing it.
Yeah. This is always what I find to be the top movie torture overkill. It's a real torture oversight, right? Yeah. It's the putting battery jumper cables on the testicles, right? And then threatening with the electricity. Right. Have you ever seen the gripping power and the teeth on a battery jumping cable? The electricity doesn't even come into play. You put one of those on my nuts. My nut is crushed and ripped open. Forget the electricity. Who cares?
Yeah.
The torture's done.
And I'll tell you this, as someone who goes to acupuncture, who gets a bunch of zoots in them, they'll stick needles in you and they'll put the electricity in you. That's a good time. If you get the voltage right, you're actually calming somebody down. You're walking away from that torture session with a fresh pair of nuts.
I mean, listen, they tried it on me 17 times with the old that was the old psych ward Inquisition.
Right.
They got nothing out of me, and they left me feel technically they left me feeling just as sad. But that's not to say it's not a good method. It just didn't work for me.
Right.
Did you guys watch the Super Bowl last night?
We did. We heard
transition.
I didn't, Greg.
You didn't? No, I don't know how to do this now.
I did. I'm only messing around.
I was setting myself up for something, and now you got to be me.
No, I did. I watched it. But Ring Around the Rosie, Pocket Full of Flowers. I heard that you didn't watch it.
Nice pass back. Pass back. My friend Marcelo used to do that a lot of times. You pass him the ball on the court, he'd go pass, and you pass to him, and he'd go, no, pass back. So like you'd yell pass. He'd pass it to you and then go, no, pass back. And it was like, I wanted to take a shot, man. I didn't want to just feel the ball.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch the Super Bowl last night because, Tita and I were doing a Star Wars weekend. So we had watched all of the Star Wars movies, but we finished them before the Super Bowl. And every time I went to put on, she would just turn it off. I was like, well, the Super Bowl. And she just kept going, well, you don't like sports. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't. But it's the Super Bowl. And she was like, well, why are we watching this? If you don't like she kept like getting me on this thing. And the truth is I don't love sports alone. I only like watching them.
Right.
I only like watching them with people. And I couldn't beat her defense. So then we ended up watching Modern Family during the Super Bowl, which I felt every now and again I'd switch back. We saw some commercials and I got to see a little bit of I was allowed to watch The Weeknd because I do love The Weeknd. But for the most part, it was a Modern Family night last night, and I couldn't beat her argument of sports not liking.
Well, it does hold up because last year, obviously we're dealing just pre-pandemic. Greg hosted a phenomenal Super Bowl party, and Amy was there. Amy now is somewhat interested in football because as I've watched all the Browns games, she's realized most of her dislike for football has been a complete not understanding anything that's going on. And so now that she's understood it a little bit, she likes it a little bit more. But Greg hosted a phenomenal Super Bowl party. Greg doesn't like sports. Amy doesn't like sports. Amy's highlight of the evening, which she speaks of to this day, is how Greg brought out a puppet to entertain the crowd. And he said, that game, I don't remember a goddamn thing about it, but boy, was Greg killing it with that puppet. And she thought your puppet work was masterful and talks about it to this day.
That is... Well, can I also say this about that occasion? First of all, there's about 13 people in your living room last year because we kept more and more people kept piling on, and then I'd say close to strangers in the home.
Yeah, some plus ones brought plus ones.
Plus ones brought plus ones. So we don't. Yeah. So you barely know the plus one. You definitely don't know this plus two. The Super Bowl. Greg, not thinking that'd be enough entertainment for everybody, brought out a puppet for everyone, which I thought that was so funny as like people coming over to be like, well, I'm here for the Super Bowl. I guess I just showed up to watch this guy's puppet show.
But you stay for the puppet show.
Yeah.
Okay. The puppets, the fuck, my words aren't coming. The draw, it's like when Walmart does a sale on TVs, right? Come in for this $100 flat screen. But then maybe if you'll stick around, you'll stay for our unbelievable. I mean, I don't know if you remember, I sat literally next to the television.
Yes.
My favorite thing of the Super Bowl is sitting next to the television and talking to everyone throughout the Super Bowl.
Facing
the crowd. Yeah. To see if I can compete with the greatest nights of sports. That's how you become a good comedian. Yeah. If you could beat the Super Bowl, man, you did it. You did it.
Well, I think there's a part of Greg that gets annoyed that he wasn't picked for the halftime show.
I'm still mad.
I think this is his response to that. Is you can book Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. I'll tell you, you should have booked Greg.
Well, I will say
my viral video, you dummies.
It's a man who knows his crowd because there's one young lady named Amy who it was a hit. She needed the puppet. She was watching the puppet, not the Super Bowl. But that being said,
before moving on, I just want to say I didn't get my deposit back this year for the monkey I rented. Last year was a puppet. I had a monkey who can play the cymbals, and this motherfucker at the zoo won't give my money back. I was like, it's quarantine. The Super Bowl party ain't happened. He was like, you pay for Jimmy. You got to give me Jimmy's money. The boys got to eat. We're all suffering. So, you know, the money goes to him. Anyway.
Jimmy, a couple of bananas here and there.
At rentananimal.com, they are sticklers. Let me tell you that. It's not, and you're not, this is not the first time I've been down that road myself.
The NRD on that, the non-refundable deposit.
Well, yeah.
The end is strict. Mm-hmm. It is non-refundable.
They ask up front, and there is no wiggle room whatsoever. And then they'll say this,
send the cash now.
Yeah. And they'll say this, they'll go, they'll blame the animals, which I think is so rich on their part. They'll go, it's their call. We'd ask for it afterwards. They demand it.
Yeah. He doesn't want to vomit that banana I fed him with your money, so I guess we keep it.
Yeah. Look, I'm not a picky eater. He's the one that demanded the deli tray from the highest rated deli in town. Okay. Yeah. That's what he said. Ask him about it. Ask him about it.
And I sometimes wonder if they even have the animals. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think the whole thing is a setup. But anyway, that's the ins and outs of the monkey business. There was something else. Oh, I thought this was so funny. Yeah, Greg, it's like when you have a kids table at the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Greg is there for all the people who are there for, they're there to be there. They're joined to a person who likes sports. Greg is there for them. You'd think that I would just have a party on a day that wasn't the Super Bowl, but no one will come. I have to trick people into coming over with the lure of a football game, and then everyone come. I can't just be like, you got to be like, it's my birthday or it's Christmas. So, I can't be like, everyone come over. I'm throwing a fucking party, okay? Because no one will show.
Well, also, New York is a difficult place to have a party. It's like, there were people sitting at that Super Bowl party, and it wasn't even a gigantic Super Bowl party, but there were people sitting in just places not to be sat. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there's only so much.
Party.
What's that? Yeah. There was a lady sitting under a chair. I think.
Ryan Perez was lying down on the floor.
So this is the move, right? This is what I do, right? Instead of just being like, "Hey, I'm performing at Comics Mohegan Sun," I say, "Come over for this party," right? And then I'm like, everyone throw in $15 for the pizza, right? And it's just my own. It's like, this is the workaround for having a stand-up show. This is how people need to be doing stand-up shows in COVID. You say it's not. It's a Super Bowl party, but we're all paying for this. Everyone's hanging out, and this is a nice workaround.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've heard. Stand-up New York is doing weddings. It's a real thing. Really? They're under the guise of a wedding.
No, you need to elaborate. Show. I'll elaborate on this because I don't think you're joking.
I'm not joking, and I don't know too much about it. But from what I understand, they're doing weddings, but I think it's a sham wedding. And I think it's a stand-up show. I really think that because they started
immigrants get to live in this country. It's a twofold thing.
The sham party is real. Oh wait, Michael, can you get on the horn for a second? Because I'll get confused by that.
Well, do we want to blow up somebody's? Well, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care.
I don't know. This is a fun moment. We're not saying anything bad. I think it's a fun moment.
Yeah, and if you're a cop listening, you have to tell us
in the life of comedy during the pandemic.
Sure.
It's not a bad thing. It was just I've been invited to 3 different parties over the last year that were really just, hey, we're going to be performing in the backyard.
Oh my god.
Yeah. They started with church. They were saying it was like because you can gather for religious reasons.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Church. This is church. Who's the reverend? What's the guy who does the trumpet?
Jackie the Joke Man Martling.
Yeah, it's Bob
DeBono?
Yeah, it's Bob DeBono. It's Reverend Bob DeBono.
Look, it's a party, but only certain people get to talk at moments, okay? Yeah. But everyone can talk, but it's a 6-hour party, and everyone gets to talk for 15 minutes in intervals, and you got to bring your best stuff, pal.
I just love the workarounds where it's like, all right, well, what do we got to do? One Bible. You just got to we got to have a Bible on premises. What constitutes a restaurant? If you got one chicken wing there, you're a restaurant Cuomo's eyes, open her up.
You know the original sham party, and I've been to a lot of these because I rolled in these groups. Beautiful woman comes up to you and goes, man, I'd love to hang out. Why don't you come over for a party? You get there and she's like, so if you've heard, we've got alcohol in the back. And I don't know if you know, but the devil's in the basement and Jesus is in heaven. Do you know about Jesus? And it's a goddamn religious trick again.
Sure.
They do that. Go ahead.
Yeah. I met a girl in Salem, Oregon. I was a Mennonite for 4 years. Unreal. We built some good homes, but we lost some time.
My mom used to have these Amway parties, man. She'd invite you over and try to sell you 15 boxes of the same cereal. And it was like, I thought this was a hang. It's like, nah, you're buying spoons today, pal.
Yeah.
Those women clubs, it's man.
You're unreal. Telling me. I went to a party. It was Andy Dick teaching a blowjob course. And I had to go around sucking dick, taught by Andy Dick, and it was I picked up some pointers here and there.
Were you an extra in the movie Old School?
No.
Yeah, Brendan was one of the wives.
This was a separate instance. That was actually taken from what happened to me.
I guess reality based on reality. The old Andy Dick, the old Andy Dick sucking parties. The Andy Dick sucking parties. It's a palindrome.
I like a guy who just says things are a palindrome because it sounds like they possibly could be. It's a palindrome. Yeah. Gotta be. Don't look at the letters, but it's gotta be.
Not enough people know what that is. You can get away with one.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you. Well, when the clock strikes midnight, that means it's 12. So, Greg, I understand that you didn't go to the Super Bowl. You didn't watch the Super Bowl.
No, I watched Modern Family as explained exactly 17 minutes ago.
And as explained with exactly the same setup by you, Anthony. But what we thought we might do is go through a few aspects of the Super Bowl, get Greg's take on them. Now, Anthony, Greg, I should say, and Anthony, feel free to
who are you talking to?
Well, both of you. So I don't know why I said anything. I'm always talking to both of you, really. A big... underlying theme of the Super Bowl and the NFL all season really has been something that's been infuriating me, and that's they've really been embracing and pushing this narrative of racial equality and injustice, and they've got the words on the helmet and victims' names on the helmet and all this shit, and that
just happened this year, really?
Yeah, and that continued last night. Now, on one hand.
They put names on helmets?
Oh, yeah. Breonna Taylor, everyone, they were putting names on helmets.
No, you only do that for people you've murdered. So I would start looking into these people. You want to find Breonna Taylor's killer? I bet it was John Cappenground.
Yeah,
John
Cappenground.
He was John Cappenground, the great graduate.
Now,
quarterback.
Here's my take on that.
Soldiers do it.
The NFL is an evil corporation, and I do think there's some good.
Absolutely. The not for me league, as I call it.
There is some good in that they are getting that message to people who otherwise would not really be open to it or might not hear it. But the fucking NFL ran Colin Kaepernick out of the league. They blackballed the guy. Nobody will give him a goddamn job.
I would.
Back when, you would. I would.
Not on the Rad Dudecast, whenever you want it.
Yeah,
I'll walk away, Cap.
I've
been trying to replace Bicycle with Kaepernick for 6 months now.
Yeah, they ran him out of the league, and the owners, I believe, colluded not to give him a job. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, racial justice is cool, so they're profiting from it. But nobody's doing anything for old Kaepernick, who still doesn't have a goddamn job because he kneeled 5 years ago before the climate was right. Go ahead, Anthony.
How's this all, Brendo? They got his name on the back of a helmet. He should be put inside one, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And they don't even have his name on the back because he's victim number one, dog.
Yep. I don't want my name on a helmet. I want my name on a jersey, pal.
Yeah.
That's what he would say.
Even better. Even better.
It's even better.
I got a question for you. I did watch. Can I bring up a Rage piece?
Sure.
I didn't. So I got very limited. I got to go a little bit into the Super Bowl. I watched like a few commercials. I saw the halftime show, and I will tell you what I thought I saw, and I'm pretty sure all of it's wrong. But I will say I saw one commercial for Uber Eats, and this made me so furious. The commercial was like, support local restaurants, Uber Eats. I was so mad because it was like, no, you're not telling us to support local restaurants. You're telling us to support you, right? That's like, I like the idea that Jeep was like, come together, Bruce Springsteen unity, Jeep, right? Because that's not promoted. It's not like come together, get in a Jeep, drive to your friend's house.
Yes.
You know, but it was like Uber Eats was like, you need to be better and you need to do this. And here's how you're going to do it. Give us money. I thought that was such a low ball thing that I said, I refuted the Super Bowl after that. That's why I turned it off. Not because Modern Family was a great marathon. I stood for something that day.
100% agree. And they not only that, they used Sesame Street to do it in one of the ads.
That's what that was about.
Yes. And they had several different ads. And I've been watching football all season. They've been hammering home this point all season. Support, you see this, they don't even mention it at first. You got to support local business. That is Uber Eats or Seamless or whatever. And it's like, no, man, you mean support you, and you're gouging local businesses like that.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Support local business. Call that business and have them deliver it to you. Don't use Seamless or any of those things.
Yeah, you would have hated Tom Brady's acceptance speech for the award that he received.
He gave an award last night?
Well, yeah, he said, who the real MVP is DoorDash.
Now, we're jumping ahead, but while we're there, I want to skip.
Before we skip, I do want to say something about the commercial. I had one other piece on this.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. This is real quick. This is just what I thought the reason we had to turn it off the second time was because I kept trying to sneak the Super Bowl back on. They had a Reddit commercial on that was 5 seconds, and it starts with it shows a thing, and then it goes off in 5. It scared Tita so bad she made us change a channel. Just this 5-second interruption commercial just horrified her. And I'm honest, it was kind of scary. It's just like did you see it? Did you guys see it?
Yes, I saw. Not only did I see it, I was a bit confused, and it did exactly what they wanted it to do. I was reading about it this morning. The ad killed because what happened is they knew this would happen. It was kind of a shocker. Reddit didn't have the budget for a full Super Bowl commercial, which is this year was around $3.5 million for a 30-second spot.
I'll tell you who did. Discount tires. I'll tell you more money than we knew of. All their PPP loan on Super Bowl commercials.
Weather Guard. What is the weather? What's that company that makes the floor mats?
WeatherTech.
WeatherTech had 78 commercials.
I argue what we need to do is raise enough money that we buy all the ad space and then have our own football game within the commercial and have a dueling Super Bowl is going back and forth with the real Super Bowl. And I guarantee ours will be more fun because I'm hilarious.
Well, that was like the old Bud Bowl. Here, a couple of shitty points. But first I want to get to Greg's point. Man, that thing, they were genius. They were genius because what happened was every goddamn news site in the world is now talking about that commercial because no one had time to read it. It freaked everyone out, and it did exactly what they wanted. It blew up because people were like, because I'm checking the news this morning, and every story is, yes, that was really a Reddit commercial. Here's what it said. It's on free publicity everywhere. Very genius, but
Can I say this though? They missed out on one key demographic: a guy who really takes his time picking a wing.
Right,
me.
Yeah, back to it.
I didn't see it.
Turn her on.
Yeah,
dude, it happened so quick. It was quicker. It was so quick. You would have missed it, brother.
Yeah. Now,
I did. I did. I was looking over a plate of ribs, going, "My God, am I happy? I'm so thankful for these ribs."
Next thing I knew. Because you're always getting food during the commercials, which I think is the best part of the Super Bowl. And I can never experience that with you. I'm always like, look at this one, Anthony. This is a great one. And your goddamn back is to me because you're picking out wings.
Well,
it's true.
This
I have no respect for corporations.
While we're on the commercial tip, let's dive in, and then I want to get back to the pregame, which the pregame
for life.
The pregame I felt was
means.
The pregame I felt was maybe the best part of the game, but
what do they do? They warm up.
Oh God, no musical performances that had your musical poetry performances, the best music of the night, I thought. But anyway, let me tell you something.
There was something else though.
Let me tell you
what you're going to get to. Okay, hopefully.
That made me so furious. Yeah, we'll do a whole pregame conversation because there was a hologram involved. But
that's the man I want to talk about.
But
the hologram of my thing too with Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was great.
All leading up to the Super Bowl, Budweiser goes, "We're not doing Super Bowl ads this year. You know what? We're putting that money back to first responders. That's what we're going to do." And I go, "That's amazing. Good for you." Super Bowl comes on. They were just talking about Budweiser. 38 Bud Light commercials. What the? Nobody's drinking Bud Heavy anymore, you assholes. That when you say you're not doing Super Bowl commercials, we thought you meant Budweiser as a fucking company. You just meant like none of the majestic horses in the snow. You're still doing Bud Light. What the shit is that? Everyone's drinking Bud Light. Trickery.
And here's where
all the time. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, and here's where they were so stupid because everybody knows about the comforts of a hospital horse, and they didn't show any of their stable of Clydesdales. Now more than ever, do we need hospital horses? They come by a patient's bedside, and the patient just strokes them and strokes them and strokes them, and they feel better about the respiratory issues that they've got with COVID.
I got to be honest. I was so bored with that conversation because here's why. Because yes, I already know what you're talking about because I know so well of the need of a hospital horse that I said I can chime out for this because I've been down this road. My God, if you were in an ER and you don't have a Clydesdale walking down giving you Jello, you don't have a hospital. What you have is a goddamn leper colony.
Yeah. And
to be so out of touch.
To piggyback on that, I've seen it backfire because where Amy gave birth was quite near the Rainbow Babies and Children's, which is the children's hospital, and they had a Clydesdale in there doing the whole Jello thing, and everyone was on board. And then this one kid who he was an avid, he kept up on things. He said, "This motherfucker ain't a Budweiser Clydesdale. This is just a Clydesdale." And the guy said, "Well, no." And the kid said, "No, fuck you. This is not this. You just brought in a Clydesdale and said he was a Budweiser. I know the Budweiser Clydesdale. Bring a goddamn Budweiser Clydesdale." Or they're drunk. That's how you know them. They're drunk and they,
I have an opposing opinion.
They eat so many oats.
Well, I have an opposing opinion on some of these hospital Jello horses.
Yeah, please.
They are known in the horse community as the Uncle Toms of them because, as you know, Jello is made from horses, right? So these are just horses selling their old dead brothers. Okay, so these you gotta as much comfort as they bring to us, they really did sell out their own people. The regular horses or the slow boys.
Much like
kill the slow boys.
Much like where they have to hide when they use Elmer's glue, They're like, "Hey, that was made from your uncle, Frederick. What the fuck are you doing?"
Dude, the old shoot the horse because it's a broken leg. Who do you think wrote that? It was Bill Cosby, head of the Jello community. He said, as soon as a horse breaks a leg, you murder that thing and we get more Jello out of it. So quote it. Okay. Yeah. The horse is a broken leg. Kill it.
Bill Cosby, enemy to women and horses for years.
I used to try a bit, and it never really got anywhere. But I still believe the sentiment is like, has anyone tried to fix a horse's leg, or did they jump right to shooting them in the head? Because it seems to me, I've seen a cat with a cast on. It seems like you could fix a horse's broken leg. That's just a guy that wants to shoot a horse,
a horny for shooting a horse guy.
You know what it is with a horse is they're bad patients. That's really what it is. A cat breaks its leg. You put a cast on that thing, it'll eventually climb out of it. But you break a horse's leg, this thing is ringing a bell every couple seconds.
Hooked on morphine, whining and complaining. You know what I mean? Taking 2 beds. Get out of here, horse.
Too many visitors in the hospital. The guy's got his whole extended it's a broken leg, okay, pal?
They can't fit in the ambulances.
Plus
Yeah,
Yep.
there's
taking
that.
a vital space in a hospital room, and we're at maximum occupancy as it is. These goddamn horses. But yeah, Budweiser completely out of touch. For the one time that they could have included the Clydesdales when the country really needed it, they didn't. These idiots.
We got to do a bell on this podcast that I would love for that. Anytime you as a listener says, what the fuck are they talking about? They ring the bell. Because I like to have those moments where we kind of just come to earth and we go, yeah, we are talking about the horses, the horse healthcare system, where you kind of chime out and you go, ding, ding, ding. What the hell were they talking about again? I got to rewind. Wherever you got to rewind and recatch up. I feel like that's a fun moment. That's when you take a drink.
Yeah, I promise this is a Super Bowl recap like no other.
That's the title of the episode, my friend.
Yeah. Welcome to Barstool Sports, assholes. Now,
this has always been a sports podcast, if I've ever heard of it.
Now, one thing from a comedy standpoint, I thought was just a fucking miscarriage of justice, absolute miscarriage of justice, and showed it just throughout the world the misunderstanding of comedy. There was a beautiful ad. Couldn't tell you what it was for. Maybe Toyota. I think Toyota. But
usually it's a safe bet that it's a car. Whatever the message is, they'll slap on a Dodge at the end of that thing. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Car, beer, and pussy. Those are the things they're selling on that thing.
It was the world.
Just throw it out at the end. That's why you got to buy this minivan. Bruce Springsteen sold us the middle of the country.
It was
Go ahead,
the world's most decorated, one of the world's most decorated Paralympic swimmers. Okay,
she right.
double amputee, and it was the story of her adoption, and it was better than most movies. It was Amy was crying, my mom was crying, I was crying. It was fucking beautiful. It was just a great story told wonderfully, beautiful. They then go immediately into this kid who's hilarious, this child actor who's fucking hilarious, but you can't follow a goddamn double amputee sob story. And it was like this poor fucking kid. It's like, that's the time for weather guard. You put weather guard in between to eat
the tears.
Yeah.
The tears could keep your car from getting wet.
Yeah. And then you let the kid be, this poor fucking kid was hilarious. Probably one of the funnier commercials. Nobody paid attention because they were crying over the lady with no legs and the beauty of her parents. It was crazy. Anthony, did you see that part?
I didn't. Once again, I have my eye on a pair of juicy ribs. But I will say I got a twofold for this. But I see Greg is foaming at the mouth to get in there. I want to get him in there first.
Oh no, you go. I'm just stroking my new beard.
Oh, okay. So I had a twofold with it. I did not see that. I saw a swimmer. That thing. It's rib haze. That thing. But what you're saying, no one, when they're putting together these commercial packages, no one's thinking about the story that they're telling. They're just going ad. No one's going right for this section. We're gonna build a narrative with what we've got. What do we have? We have a bunch of beer commercials. We've got the general.com.
Right.
And we've got WeatherTech. But these don't go together. You know what I mean? Like you need to you assemble the pieces a little better.
Through line.
There's gonna be a through line.
I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're being funny.
As the first I'm coming to this as like an idea. And then second thing, I've never seen a commercial which piggybacks off the other commercial. You know what I mean? Like a group that goes, look, you're Dodge. I'm a sock company. Let's work together on this. You do something goofy, I'm gonna go, well, fuck those guys. You know what I mean? And then you're like, whoa. They've been in cahoots. That's fun.
Do a 10-minute movie in between that works in all of the ads and tells a story.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
A really great idea. Like a Jeep, it starts with a Jeep driving off a cliff, and then the guy jumps out and he lands in the dirt, and it's like a nice windbreaker that doesn't stain, right? And then
maybe.
Yeah, and then he stabs a woman, and it's the knife company, right? And it's like you get the murder mystery. That would be amazing to watch.
Yeah. And then at the end of it, it just shows, tune in for the next episode of Clarice on CBS. And it's like, it was the show the whole time.
They push Clarice, Greg.
I know.
So hard. My mom was furious. Every Clarice, first of all, she didn't understand. She goes, how do they have all this money? These are the scary. And I go, Mom, it's the channel that it's on. It's free. And she was just outraged that they were scaring her. Every Clarice ad freaked her out. And I mean, it was they pushed Clarice hard.
On my side of the world, on the TNT, because we were watching TNT and a lot of those things. Let me tell you, I would love to watch the show Snowpiercer, but my God, they are pushing it so hard that I feel like this girl might have herpes. I'm like, Snowpiercer is, why do you want me so bad? You know, like the show looks good, but it's every 3 seconds they're like, you got to watch Snowpiercer, and I'm like, you're pushing me away now. Now I don't want to be involved.
I'll tell you what, man, I took the bait, and that's time I can never get back. And I like the movie Snowpiercer, but the movie, the show's no bueno. The show kind of stinks. The show, you'll go because it's on. Sometimes if it's on like TNT or like USA, you go. There's a little bit of me that goes, how good can this be on these networks? And every now and again, you get a show like Mr. Robot was on USA, it was unbelievable. But usually you're like, I'm walking myself into it. This is a silk stocking situation if I've ever seen
creme brulee at Applebee's.
Yeah.
Okay. How French is this?
Yeah.
Exactly. But I go, I love the movie. I like this guy in Hamilton. The commercials, they've got me. All right. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. Let's do it. Snowpierce me. And then within 3 minutes, I went, I think we have a bigger budget on our podcast than the show got.
I also want to step back for a second and say something about those emotional ads that get me. What drives me crazy is they're always like, they try to work in the emotion to get you, but they're just like, a woman comes home. Her child has no legs and no eyes, but she pushes through, right? And it's like, daddy's dead and the car's tires broke down and it's raining. .com, buy a gun, right? And they just push in like, buy a gun, and you're like, wait, what is this? It's like Budweiser. It's like this had nothing to do. I like the idea of like you're trying to tell this weird story, and then you're tagging it at the end,
right?
But like, who do you think you are telling me this emotional tale? Budweiser?
Well,
you hawk drinks. You hawk drinks to loose drivers on the highway.
You're a goddamn bar.
Well, I will say I agree with that to an extent, but then I think of like, because it's like, you know, this I think the most moving commercial was the Paralympic athlete, and I will say I agree, but also if it weren't for Toyota, I never would have heard of her. So like it is, you are using,
but you don't have to hear about everything.
No,
you know? What are you talking about?
Like, that's like something my mom says. Jesus Christ.
I mean, everyone's got a sob story, you know? I don't got to hear all of them.
Jesus.
You never would have heard of her. So what? She probably lived. She's fine. Who cares?
Well, no, it was just a beautiful adoption story because it was like she was adopted and they told her parents like, there's a problem with the baby you were going to adopt. You're probably not going to want her. And her mom was like, you know, oh, we want her more or some shit like
Who's
that.
Doing that? Who's looking at a half?
She might never walk, but this girl's going to learn to swim. God damn.
Yeah.
Who's looking at a half baby and trying to throw a discount out? You know, who's going, you got a half kid coming. You're probably not going to want it. You know, it's like, what, man? Does it got a brain? Barely.
Yeah.
Well,
look, I didn't take you two for heroes, so I imagine.
What's the return policy on this half baby?
Yeah. What do you got going on an open box deal here?
Yeah, to me, as long as they can spin a story, I love them.
In general, this was a unique and I think by far the best year I've ever seen for commercials, just because every single commercial had to work in the pandemic and nod to essential workers, and then also throw something over to racism and the unity of the country. But then sell a bracelet. I mean, I've never seen it. Was beautiful. To watch just the absolute disaster that was going to be with every commercial.
Well, and that leads us right into the fucking endless pregame that was insane. I thought most of it was very good, but Greg, I mean, this was an hour and a half presentation. You had Joe and Jill Biden, first of all, giving us that's the president and his wife. They were giving a speech about. She did most of the talking. It's becoming increasingly clear. He can't really can't see the teleprompter or something. She really leads the way on a lot of things. But they did a good job. Then they took a Vince Lombardi halftime speech, applied it to the entire country, and had an actor play him, and then brought him out as a fucking hologram that on TV didn't appear as a hologram, just appeared as a shitty middle school projector, because holograms, they only work if you're live. If you see them on television, they just
like a big card that people moved back and forth, like those old hologram cards, so you didn't see him move, so he waves.
That would have been better. That would have been better.
It looked like 11 trapped in the upside down in a black void, but a bad, like remember that show was like early on in the Pixar days, and you'll always remind me of the name of the show. I always forget. But it was like it was a herky-jerky bad hologram, and not everybody knows Vince Lombardi. You know, he's not like, he has like an iconic look to him, but it's like there's not enough there. Like Julia was like,
I only know him as a rest stop in New Jersey. Just for the
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Record.
Yeah. Julia was like, what is this mess?
Yeah.
And like,
is this another one of them half babies?
Yeah, you're like, why? Lombardi. Yeah, you're like, why did they get the guy from Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That's clearly Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, man, it looked like Bob Hoskins giving a semi-rousing speech to no one, not directed at a team or a player, just to the air. It was so bizarre, and they built it up like they had something special really on their hands, and they kind of alluded to it in commercials where you're like, I think the special thing you got in your hands is going to be a shitty hologram of Vince Lombardi, and it was.
And it was, I believe it was the same hologram technology they used for like Tupac and those guys at like Bonnaroo or wherever they did that, Coachella. But the thing is, that shit, someone needed to test it on television. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so I bet funny. In the stadium, it was like, hey, there's a guy, you know, but like, it doesn't work on television. It looks like, this is what it looked like. It looked like in the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where that Mike kid gets stuck in TV, and it's just a bad representation of like a kid projected into a television.
Yes,
that's what it looked like, and you're just like, this is like when they showed a Flight of the Navigator for a PTA fundraiser on the goddamn projector screen in my elementary school.
Yeah. Michael, if you could, just going back, I kind of want Greg to see the picture of Joe Biden and Jill Biden, just because, to what Brendan's saying, yeah, it's clear that like Joe is on load management when it comes to words. Like when needed, he'll say a thing. Like he wakes up from a sleep and he just goes, unity, and then goes back to bed.
He's got speech problems, right?
No, I know
he's one of my people. You know, they have the half brains, right? I'm very proud of him.
Yeah, no, he's great, and we're all thankful that he's our president. But he looked, man, the suit that he was wearing, he looked like an old Chicago gangster. Like somebody put him in this suit, and it was I loved it.
Was it too big? Was it like one of those '90s Michael Jordan suits?
It wasn't quite that. It was like a little too big. It was too like, where are you going tonight with that thing? You know,
back to bed.
Yeah, man, we're going to
sleeping suit.
Rob a bank in the 20s with Al Capone. It was really funny looking.
I wanted to step back. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, please step back.
I just want to clarify something because I keep talking about half babies. I love half baby. I just want to say that the only time I would be upset with my baby, I'd much rather have a half baby than a boring kid, right? Like I'd much rather have a kid who's got no legs than one who's just like, did you watch the game? Did you know Michael Jordan has, like, just starts a stats kind of person, right? That's the person I'm going to be like, is he boring? Send him off. But if he's got like, you know, one eyeball and a half a jaw, I'm like, give me that kid. I'll take a Downey. Any Robert Downey Jr. I call Bounds kids to make them feel better. Robert Downey Jr.'s because it makes them feel better. Because they're Iron Man. Because they're Iron Man. Give me an Iron Man kid.
Yeah. Well, look, you don't have to tell me twice. When that baby came out and they gave her the once over, and they said, "Dad, everything looks perfect." I said, "Fuck me. I'm trying to have a career here." You know what I mean? What do you know? Nothing. You got nothing. Look again. See if you can find it. Yeah. If you got to make something happen, make something happen. I'll look the other way.
As long as he's not a hack. Anyway, get back to where you want to say, Anthony. Go ahead.
There was only one other thing I wanted to say. This was a personal thing that I had this moment where Little Nas X came on to just do a
now,
VO.
is that like a mini Nas? Who's Mini Nas X? He's like
Old Country Road.
The song Old Town Road.
Old Town Road, yeah.
But I had like a real so Greg, take a look at this suit. I mean, you kind of can't pick up on the pinstripes, but
no, I can. He looks like he's in the Kings of Comedy, and I appreciate it. He was like, "Sorry, I just got back from a set in Atlanta."
yeah, you're doing the triple triangle. You're doing the triple triangle on the anchor.
Man.
That's
he looks awesome.
The lines make me want to throw up.
Yeah.
What am I looking at here? I like it. It's so crazy. This is a very inside joke with only me. You have no idea how much he looks exactly like Fred Stone, my grandfather. He looks exactly like my grandfather, who lost a leg that we thought to an alligator, but it was diabetes. I've said it once, you said it a million times.
Crocodile named Sugar.
Yeah.
They called her.
Yeah.
So Anthony, back you got.
Oh yeah. So you remember him? He had that hit song. I think it was like a couple summers ago, and I had this real my memory is just going at a rapid pace, and I can't keep up with what I'm losing. And he came on, and in my head, I debated it before I asked Julia who he was, but I went, "Oh, there's Country Boy," and he sings the song "Countryman." And then
he sings about the future.
I had to go. I couldn't. I was like, I know that's not right, but I think I'm close to the board. But I can't ask Julia if that's Country Boy or Countryman. So I had to go. There's the country kid. He sings about country, right? And she goes, Little Nas X, Old Town Road. And I went, that's it.
Yeah.
And in my head, I went, not Countryman.
Well, to further rouse Greg's interest, it was a Logitech commercial. Greg being
that's right.
Huge Logitech man.
It's a Logitech guy.
I don't like this new rappers are just giving out screen names as their rap. Little Nas X is that's what my screen name for AOL was. It was G-Sauce, XXX.
Right.
If you're not straight edge, don't put an X at the end, okay? That's my thing.
And not you better either be straight edge or Nation of Islam. One of the two. Otherwise, no X. You get no X. Oh, that was from the previous Super Bowl, I think. Or that wasn't. They didn't do that one last night. They did Logitech. He's moved on from Doritos.
It's all right, though. Michael has got the right guy up there.
He's got the right guy. And now, Greg, moving along, one thing I took great joy in is they had the singer Her. Grammy winning artist Her.
I'd never seen Her before.
Who was wonderful. Played a rousing rendition of "God Bless America," which should be the national anthem. They changed it already.
Yeah,
it's a better song. The meaning's better. But anyway, there was this guy behind her, just clearly worked for Vodka Mule or what. He just kept holding his can up in the shot. Mike, can you pull up a picture of this guy who was clearly just trying to get this beverage in the shot repeatedly? And I just couldn't stop laughing because it was like, hey man, do what you got to do. These ads are expensive. If you're in the front row, hold up your goddamn can. Yeah. Guy's probably up for a promotion.
Just scream DraftKings as loud as you can.
Yeah.
Real quick, Anthony, I think you would know about this. I'm not sure, Brendan, if you're into The Crown. I don't think you were. But the one thing I noticed is like the national anthem is like the same song as the English one. Did you pick that up? Like they have like that same beat.
Oh, I didn't actually.
It's like America. What song is it? I don't remember what it is, but like the English version is the fucking same, except it's got like English words.
To our national anthem, not to America the Beautiful, right?
It's a cover. I don't know, whatever it is. It's a cover. God Save the Queen. But how does that go? I don't know. God
save the Queen. What's
the American one?
God.
My country, 'tis of thee.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. See, I had it kind of it dialed.
Yeah, you got it. I wasn't sure if you watched The Crown or if you're in an English national.
I don't, as we know about me, I don't watch anything that I like to think I already know more about, which is always wrong, but and does prevent me from many enjoyable things in life. But something's wrong with me. So I refuse to do anything, watch anything that I already proclaimed to know about. So no, I will not watch The Crown.
Well, you'll find out a little bit more about that song in The Crown.
Nah, probably not.
Anthony, what were you talking about?
Oh, I was going to say that has it always been that we, aside from the Star Spangled Banner, that we do America the Beautiful, and or is this more of like a new thing?
It's a new thing,
Right.
and what I think they're doing is here's the thing. When you bring out a new thing, you can't just say, all right, guess what? No more sweatshirts. Everyone's wearing onesies. You got to do onesies and sweatshirts for a while, so the people have the choice and just fade out the sweatshirt.
Yeah,
I think that's what's happening with the national anthem. They're now singing at the big events. They're going America the Beautiful, then the national anthem. It's a fade out. And we're going to take America the Beautiful over the top.
I hope so, man, because there's more moments in that song to really make it your own, I feel like. Yeah. I mean, I know Jimi Hendrix, that was the Star Spangled Banner, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
but
it was.
I do think
not according to everyone's uncle, but yes.
Yeah, it was a travesty.
Yeah.
But I do think, I do think there's like more moments because she was shredding during America the Beautiful, and it was great. I'd never see. I'm a fan now for sure.
I think we need to I would make the national anthem "Party in the USA" by Miley Cyrus.
Oh man, I'm with you 100%. It's probably, I don't know how soldiers would feel risking their lives, but hey, let's face it, you're fighting for a party in the USA.
You goddamn right. I'd much rather fight for a party in the USA than, I don't know,
some amber waves of grain.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
I like Bernie, but I'd rather fight for a party
for sure.
Yeah. I would recommend just any LMFAO song.
Yeah, that's a good
or
song.
All of them. It could be interchangeable.
All of them are the same.
Man, make them the halftime show.
But
they were, and it was amazing.
Now I should say, and we haven't even got to the halftime show, but I will say, national anthem, another hit. I thought that was great. They had a country artist and your R&B artist, neither of which I was familiar with. Wonderful rendition.
D'Angelo?
Wonderful. No, I wish it was D'Angelo. It was a white male country artist I didn't know who had a great voice, and then this black woman with a beautiful voice. And what's that?
Colton Higsby. That's like the big guy in country right now.
No, Eric Church. He looked like a made-up guy. He looked like a guy I've seen you create in Grand Theft Auto.
That's her. Oh, that's the guy this guy. If you look in the upper left, this guy kept repeatedly turning that can face out, just clearly getting the logo in the shot. And it was like so clear he worked for that company.
That's great.
They started cutting to a different shot of her because he was doing it too much. And
I wears a cell phone on a holster, that's like a holster cell phone guy.
Yes, very much so.
But that woman didn't look like she really knew how to play guitar. Sometimes they fake it, people, when they hold it the same way.
No, I think she
like scared.
I agree with you. There's a lot of fakers. I think she did though, because she ripped, dude. Her solo was good. Yeah, it was great. It was great. I think she really did know how to play. She was
What's
good.
her name?
The female Prince, I call her.
Her?
H-E-R, yes.
Oh, that's a statement, that name. That's fucked up.
Well, it's H-E.E.R, so we don't know. It could mean something fun,
Yeah.
Emergency room.
Harry, everybody, right? I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, help with radishes. If you got too many radishes, sometimes you need help.
Yeah. That was the original name, and she never took off. And some marketing guy was like, "Look, I agree with your sentiment. I do think you need help eating radishes, but not everyone's getting on board." Having everything revealed is what it says. Then she should have took her top off, if you ask me. But that's just kind of my persona.
Yeah, hamsters eat rugs. Everyone knows that. That's why you can't let them escape. You know how to get a hamster back? Rub a carrot on a couple books that lead up steps back into their cage, and you put the carrots in the cage. They'll smell the carrots. They fall back in the cage, and then you fill it in water to teach them a lesson.
Yeah, hamsters, man, they are like Thomas Crown, man. They'll get themselves in and out of any situation.
Dude, they really are. Sometimes I give them little black leather jumpsuits, to make them get better at their Mission Impossible missions that they do.
Man. El Chapo is a hamster. You think you can cage a hamster with what they've got in the cage? You think wrong, man. These guys are out by the weekend.
Full glass cage, impenetrable, and they'll get out. They got friends on the outside. I'm pretty sure. I think my mom was on the take with these goddamn hamsters, helping them get out. So good at sneaking out.
They really are, and they'll come back. They got so much goddamn. You'll go, how do you even surviving out there? We found once that nosy got loose. I opened up one of my underwear drawers. She was inside my underwear drawer, surrounded by yogurt balls. She had been just taking yogurt balls. Well, we used to feed her yogurt balls. She liked them very much. She was to take them from the cage into the drawer, and there's so many. I guess she was just taking like 6 at a time.
Home. She set up a vacation home in your underwear home. Anyway, that's going to do it time-wise.
I got a little more on that.
Okay.
Well, one time my hamster escaped, and my dog Willie was staring at him. And they were iced down in a fight. And Willie was like, I don't think I can take this guy. And the hamster jumped on his head, and he rode the dog for a little bit. Are you glad I told you that?
I am, actually. I very much am. I think that's really fun. I actually am really glad you told me that. A couple of quick things that are important that you hear. If you are in the $10 or $15 tier of the Patreon, or wanna be, of course, go to patreon.com/RadDudecast. I misspoke last Monday. I said that the live event would be Friday the 18th. It's actually Friday the 19th. So Friday the 19th, we will be having our live event for our $10 and $15 Patreon tiers. You'll get more details on that on next week's free episode, and you'll be able to, we'll have the link on the Patreon tier and all that. But again, that's Friday the 19th. So go to patreon.com/RadDudecast. If you want an extra episode a week, you can just join the $5 tier. Some awesome bonus content and stuff like that. The $10 and $15 tiers I recommend. Of course, you can get Rad Dudecast gear. You can get Anthony DeVito gear. You can get Greg Stone gear. All wonderful stuff at teespring.com/stores/RadDudecast. We so much appreciate you out there rocking our gear, because it makes people ask you, where'd you get that? And then next thing you know, you're fucking married, so that's cool. And then I personally, for plugs, and follow us at the Rad Dudecast on all social media platforms. And then personally, for plugs, I will be at the Comedy Attic in Bloomington, Indiana, February 27th and 28th, or 28th and 29th, whichever one is a Friday and Saturday. I'm going to throw to Greg for his plugs. Greg, plug it out, my dude.
Well, I like to just spend my time for plugs saying, man, every time we got to close the episode, I feel like a kid who is told that he has to go home and by his mom. And I get so angry. When you're like, well, that's going to wrap us. I go, well, I don't want to go. I don't know if I'm ready. We need to come up with a system that can cool me down before we go. You know what I mean? Like a cool down system.
Can I say something to that?
Sure.
I knew I was cutting the heat. I did know I was cutting the heat, but I knew where we were at time-wise. And I thought, well, let's save some hot juice for the Patreon episode.
Right.
And because I knew, okay, this is going to be unpopular. I knew I was cutting into two bad boys riffing hard on hamsters. So I do apologize, but I was kind of being the fuck face in that moment and saying, you know what, the time is the time. I know we've got announcements, plugs, and all that. So I do hope you'll forgive me.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at you, but we don't have to it's not we don't have a show coming in next, we're not like the news where we got to get in by the news.
Yeah, we're coming right in with the Patreon episode. So the fun's not ending, right?
I feel as though the fun ends for me. now. I got to do the Patreon, and that'll be fun again. But it's like I have to restart the fun.
Get the engine going again. Yeah, I promise it'll be good.
Oh, it's going to be great. I'll restart it. Fresh fun.
I'm promising the fans. I'm promising Greg the episode will be good.
Yeah, they're always good. I always have fun. We don't do as many episodes now, and I don't get to talk to anybody anymore.
Well, we can just talk in real life.
I know. When you call me, I get excited, but then sometimes it's when I'm watching a movie. You call during dinner times specifically because you're like, I put it in. I know you're eating, but I got to go.
That's not true. Anyway, if you want to see me live, I'd suggest coming out on February 20th to see Steam in Hartford, Connecticut, or March 3rd to Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as those are your chances.
That's good. Can I plug my YouTube?
Yeah, go ahead. Of course.
Yeah. Can you guys follow my YouTube? I'm gonna be making more videos, and my Instagram too. I'm trying to get to 10,000 followers so that I can start putting videos. So that's that. That'll be that. Greg F. Stone. Google Greg Stone comedy. That's like the best way to really do it. Just type that in, and you're good.
Yeah, good.
The Rad Dudecast is hosted by Anthony DeVito, Brendan Eyre, and Greg Stone. Original music by Brian Zippert. Produced by Mike Suarez. Executive producers Brendan Eyre, Greg Stone, and Anthony DeVito. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcasts.